And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals of the KungFu Cup week number 4 for 2026. It's been a pretty fast broadcast so far. We went through the quarterfinals, went already through one of the semifinal matches as well, and it's been hyper aggression, short games, short matches, and we'll see if that trend changes here as we load into our fresh series. Going to be another best of 3, the upper semis between herO and SHIN. Oh boy, again, SHIN, he's known for being hyper aggressive as well, especially in this matchup in PvZ. We expect all-ins. We expect 3 base all-ins out of SHIN. Likewise, herO can also is also one that typically does meet players in that kind of aggressive state as well. Things can get chaotic. let's go, bye, let's go. Spawning in the right hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg. I very quickly have to fix up that color. Beautiful. We have the blue Zerg player himself. It is a SHIN. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Let's go. Let us go. We're getting to our fresh best of 3, and we have our 2 friends here. We have our 2 ex-teammates. They both used to be on CJ Entis, and a lot of the ex-CJ boys do actually hang out quite often outside of just the game, referring to herO, referring to SHIN, referring to Bunny as well. Oh boy, and now they're forced to face off here in our semifinals. And as I was alluding to earlier, they both typically favor aggressive tendencies here in PvZ. herO being the most aggressive Protoss player out there right now amongst the top Protosses, amongst like herO, Classic, Max, Showtime, Skillus. Like herO, he is the most active, the most aggressive, the most intense in the early to mid game. Likewise, SHIN, he also does kind of meet him in that kind of state as well. Oh boy. But now though, we're coming down. We do have our hatch gas full, standard opener out of SHIN. We'll keep an eye on the gases. We'll keep an eye on how he does spend it, whether he goes into link speed, whether he does preserve his gas, going into faster lair tech, or going into a faster evo chamber, or even skipping it and going into a roach horn instead. Eyes are on SHIN. Meanwhile, herO back at home, opening up, playing standard, and we'll keep an eye on the second pylon placement and on whether or not we go for a Stargate, Robo, or Twilight Council. And Stargate openers are the norm, but we have seen our players mix things up. We'll see. Oh, the Terran music. True. Aye. That's something that I wish was somehow implemented into SC2. Fun fact, when it comes to StarCraft Evolution, they actually have unlocked and added like extra soundtracks into the in-game music when it comes to like older Brood War soundtracks, or even like the Nova soundtracks as well. I want to see like even some of the co-op soundtracks like Stedman and things of that nature, just to broaden the music in SC2. But now it is going to be that initial Stargate. So far so good. Based on the rally here, it does look like an Oracle base opener. Other options here are Void Rays, of course, and the point of the Void Ray would be to hunt down these Overlords, deny vision, deny scouting, but so far it looks like the Oracle instead, just based off the rally. As the Oracle is on the way. Back at home, SHIN is joining. SHIN does pull out of gas. Pulls out of gas, getting into link speed. Oh, nice catch on the tumor. Este herO. Takes down the active tumor. Pulls away behind this, claiming his third. And what we're waiting for here is the timing of the Twilight Council. If it gets thrown down early in the production lifespan here of the third base, then it's more indicative of Glaive Adepts or early blink. We'll keep an eye on the Forge timing as well. Likewise, from the side of SHIN, as I mentioned previously, we want to see where the gas is going to be spent, whether we go into a fast evo chamber, roach warren, or lair. As the Oracle does poke in, should not get damage done. Means do zone away. Means the zoning. Spore is done. SHIN, he does a transfer. Transfers over. Is going to be early Evo Chamber. This is indicative of +1 melee, indicative of Ling Hydra. So we have the answer. Meanwhile, likewise, we have a standard timing here with the Forge and Twilight Council. Actually, my apologies, earlier Forge than normal. Huh. So earlier Forge, earlier +1, slightly later Twilight Council. Curious if we're going to charge. It should be Blink, but we'll keep it on here. There's that melee upgrade as I mentioned. Early Evo Chamber, Screams +1 melee, Screams Ling Hydra. Ooh, third base is going to be cancelled. Doesn't either third. Nice pick up at a hero. Blink is on the way, not charge. And the Overlord gets a full scout. So the Overlord confirms the Forge, so is fully aware that there's no like crazy glaive timing or anything like that. It's going to be Blink. Standard play here by both players. I did mention earlier, and I was kind of setting the tone for the series, being like, oh, like these two players are animals and they're hyper aggressive. I mean, I stand by that, but here, at least on the Old Republic, we're playing standard. We're playing safe. Also on melee, Lairs on the way. This should lead into Hydras. Technically, we have seen some players try and go Ling into Muta play, but it's very risky and very difficult to pull off. Often, if you see Mutas, it's alongside Roaches, in ZVP specifically. As things they attempt this around, they're going to get punished. They're turned away. Behind this hero, not going to Colossus, headed towards Storm. So Temple Archives in the Storm. Again, securing himself. Walling up, walling up. Hero only being active with the Oracles. And here he is turtling up. He's attacking his turtling. There's the Hydra. Now, something I was not expecting is an insanely fast infestation pit. Okay. Now, Shin, based on his Ling aggression, he has gotten eyes on the wall of the Sim City. He has not scouted the main base. Shin is still working a little bit in the dark. Yeah, I didn't get confirmation as to the follow-up. But Shin is taking quite quickly into Hive Tech, into Lurker Tech. I would imagine Lurker Tech. It's a very greedy play here by Shin. Very greedy. We'll see if he gets away with it. Yep, there's that Lurker Gen. Is not being thrown down behind the main. That's the purpose of the fast infestation bits. For Hive Tech, for the Hive upgrades. For those Lurkers. Things are being active just to scout, just to try to apply some pressure. Again, hero, based on his defensive position here, did show us that he was just going to slowly build up into a fourth base, macro up as well. So Shin is safe to tech. Shin, he's getting away with quite a lot of greed here. There's going to be a win-win time where Shin should hit with Lurkers before Sky Toss. So that timing is available. There is a small window here where Hero could try to push before Lurkers come online, but Hero doesn't really have much pushing power here. Yeah, he's just setting up more cannons, more shield batteries, hyper defensive play here by Hero. This is helping Shin. Or again, this is just allowing Shin to build up and to tech up. Hive is almost done. Still waiting on those Hive upgrades. Who else other than Shin uses the Diva announcer? I know that Horn Mono uses Diva. There's a bunch of others. I'm trying to think. Who comes to mind? Shin, Horn Mono, Haz, when Haz was playing. Does Lemon use Diva? I think some of the Taiwanese players. Some of the Europeans on Hokkaido T team, yeah, they use Diva. Hacker is top. The weebs on HTT. Aye. Oh, nice catch. Catching on to all 3 oracles. Ay. Wait, is there a detection? One observer. Okay, there's one observer. Nice snipe. No more revelations. Shin is moving out. Tempests are amassing, but as we mentioned here, lurkers, they will hit pre-tempest. And this is it. This is Shin's moment. He's maxed. Ooh, yeah, mass storm here on the lurkers. They do slow Shin down. Shin trying to push in. He has lurker range. Oh my god, the storms! Jesus. Storms, they punish the lurkers. Yeah, 1, 2 lurkers going down. Lurkers are very low. And Shin is not pushing through. Yeah, he's not able to break through here. The Tempest stand its ground. Lurkers are exposed. And Shin, he's running out of steam here. He's down to 2 Hydras, no anti-air. Just 3 damage from the Tempest. Another massive storm. Oh, good. Yeah, massive storms on lurkers. Lings are running to Archons. And Shin will lose everything here. He'll lose everything here. Ay. Throwing away how many? 12 lurkers go down. That's a total of 13. Yeah, 13 lurkers. And herO takes a massive lead. herO, he was setting up defensively here with the cannons, with shield batteries, rushing into Tempest. Lurkers did hit first, but we saw here that Shin could not push into the bases. He failed to do so. And with that, Shin falls behind. Shin falls far behind. At this point, we need Corruptors. Spire is done, +1 air attack is on the way. So also to try to collapse on these Hydras. The Sky Toss is amassing. And again, there's still a lot of pressure on Shin. He's going for a split push. Lings, they will deny the 5th. Force to cancel. At the same time, lurkers are morphing in. It's going to be 6 lurkers on the left hand side. Sorry, up to 8. So 8 lurkers are moving in. The Sky Toss is out of position. herO reacting with everything here towards only Zerglings. And here come the lurkers. Pushing into that forward expansion. Oh, a brutal storm here on the ramp. Oh, gosh. Yeah, slow zone as well. Archons are moving in. We're getting on top of the lurkers. And once again, all 8 lurkers are going to go down. Brutal cleanup here. As 1 lurker waddles away. Oh, the High Templar exposed. Not bad. The Cloak. Wow, Cloak is activated. Saves the High Templar. And soon hero's going to push. herO, he's been perfecting his army up until this moment. And here comes the move out. The Death Bull has amassed. The best Shin can hope for is maybe a base trade. He's going for the counterattack. He has 2 defensive lurkers. Getting up to 5. Yeah, 5 lurkers. 5 lurkers to defend. Lings, they get across the map. Army's pushing in. And there's just not much support. Yeah, lurkers are exposed. They're going down one after the other. herO cannot be stopped. Lings, they're finding some damage. True, probes are going down, but the reality is this doesn't matter. Unfortunately, this just does not matter here. herO, he has broken the main army, now pushing into the mineral lines. Pushing into the bases. Remember, the soup is lying to you. Oh, as we're actually recalling home? Recalling home after the mineral line goes down. 23 probe kills. Now, I had assumed that hero's going to keep pushing. Again, there's only a handful of Hydras left over, and I believe there was some storms. Yeah, there were 2 storms here with the main army. At least 2 storms. So Shin can rebuild. What Shin has is drones. Shin, he has 82 workers, so he has an economy. He can rebuild his army that much faster than herO. And Shin has a chance. Shin, he has a chance. herO, he had the opportunity to just keep on pushing. But upon losing that mineral line here, herO has slowed down quite a bit. Shin can still not fight head on. Bear that in mind. cannot fight head on. Shin, he needs time to build up his army. It's very gas intensive. It's an expensive army. All right, here's pushing. He's got 7 Tempest against 8 Corruptors. Soon to be 13. Soon to be 13 Corruptors. Same time, Shin coming in for his own counterattack. Does move in. And herO does turn around, okay. herO turns back around, he will lose the expansion. Again, these hit and run tactics are the best case scenario for Shin, right? Where herO pushes, Shin counterattacks, kills a base, backs off, preserves the army for the most part. Jeez, that's a lot of storms. Three storms grazing the army. But what Shin cannot do is fight head on. So Shin, he lost 1 base, killed 1 of herO's. herO's moving out. Shin is built up to 20 Corruptors, okay. Depending on the angle of attack, the Corruptors, they can win the fight in the sky. It all comes down to the Archons. It comes down to the Archons and the Storm. So here's pushing forward. Corruptors are revealed. They take down another expansion. There are 9 lurkers to defend. Cloak is activated. 0 detection. Oh. Overseer is now morphing in. Corruptors are turning around. They turn back around. Going for the dive. Gets 1. Yeah, it does go for the dive. Slows down here on the Hydras. Lurkers are trying to move in through the storms. Oh my god. That's a lot of storms. Mothership did go down. Mothership went down. That was 6 Corruptors falling. And there's still plenty left over. Yeah, plenty left over here. Oof. Corruptors taking a volley to the face. herO still has a larger army, still has that advantage. He's playing it safe though. Rotating around. Yes, here he does have observers with the main army. Just chipping away at the forces. And just getting free damage. He gets a lurker, gets 1. Picking up Hydras. And now a couple of Vipers did morph in. So there are abductions, parasitic bombs. They're going to be available. So far, decent storms. We're still waiting for the Corruptors. And we're just committing. Okay. he's just gonna rush on in. Oh, the storms are brutal. Yeah, storms they punish. GG gets called. Shin cannot engage, and herO takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, I'm impressed that Shin was able to hang in there for as long as he did, bearing in mind that herO, he snowballed out of control, pushing through the center, won the main fight, and took down the main expansion. What made things a little bit scary, a little bit shaky there, were the Ling Rumbai, right? If you remember, when Shin was losing bases, was losing his economy, Ling Rumbais were killing mineral lines, killing expansions, and that did stifle herO. I assumed that Shin would be able to remax, but again, it's just such a gas-intensive composition, rebuilding all those Corruptors, going into spell casters, building up your lurker count, and Shin wasn't quite able to remax in time. herO, he still preserved his main army, he was still able to bully across the map, and Shin was able to counterattack at times and delay the push, but he could never really deal with the main force. Not after that first big fight. GG. GG, well played, and with that, we are now getting into game number 2, going to be loading into Mothership. Let's go. Let us go. I wonder why Void Rays are a bad choice here. Void Rays are inefficient just because they're prone to stacking. What you can achieve with Void Rays, you can arguably achieve even greater results with your Archons, right? Archons, they help zone, they help protect your Skytoss units. You could argue that they're vulnerable to the Lurkers, but they were fine. Like, yo, Archons, they're built to tank, baby. They're built to tank. Void Rays, they do have their place in PvZ, but typically, like, you don't want to rely on them too heavily just because they can be shut down by a more spellcaster heavy composition. Obviously that wasn't the case here. We did see some Vipers towards the end, but they never came into play. But if we have like an even if not greater Zerg economy, and we have like a more robust Brewlord Infestor Viper composition, then Void Rays do fall off. But here we go, we're getting into our next game. Gonna be loading into Mothership. But Void Rays, they do have a niche. They do have a niche place in PvZ, especially if there are no fungals, if there are no parasitic bombs, if there are no spellcasters. They can do okay against corruptors. But again, like, if you're making Void Rays, you're not making Tempest or Carriers. It's easier to supplement your army with the ground forces like Storm and like Archons, and that splash damage does work quite well against everything. Like, Void Rays, they can be okay against Corruptors. Archons and Storm can be good against Corruptor, Lurker, and Hydra as well, against everything. But here we go, we're getting into our next game, and spawning in the top left hand corner of Mothership, we do have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg down in the series. We'll see if we can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom side here of Mothership, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1, leading the series 1-0. It is herO. We go. Here we go. So now we're going to be loading into a much larger map of the map pool. Welcome to Mothership being a 3-player spawn map, and from here we'll see how SHIN does diverge. Bearing in mind, what did SHIN do last game? He went for a very cheeky build. SHIN was hyper greedy. Remember, he rushed into the infestation pit, into the hive, into the lurkers. Remember, last game it all began with a lurker rush from SHIN, and he did have the advantage, but it was also on a timer. We tried to emphasize that SHIN had a window in time where he could try to kill herO pre-Skytoss, but he failed to do so. We saw that herO did a great job when it came to defending, buying time with his storms, with his Archons, with his initial defensive setup, until the Tempest arrived, and then the lurkers fell off. The lurkers did fall off, and herO overwhelmed. This time we'll see how SHIN does adjust. We shall see. On larger maps like Mothership, this is where we could see, say, Spire play and Muta play. That does become a little bit more viable here if it goes unscouted. That's the caveat there. It has to go unscouted, otherwise you can just react and respond with Phoenixes. So far, Stargate open out of herO, most likely into Oracle. When did herO get picked up by T1? He got picked up, this would have been end of last year. I'm going to Jesus. I'm gonna hazard a guess and then I'll double check. It wasn't the start of sorry, it was I'm gonna say October of last year. If you remember, what was the first tournament that herO played on for T1? It was Masters of the Game, and I think Masters of the Game was November. So I believe herO joined T1 in October. Let's double check. herO Wikipedia. So October of last year, because I remember that Masters of the Game, which is the offline event in France, was herO's first tournament representing T1. And it was September. I was close. I was 1 month off, baby. 1 month. Well, technically a couple of days off. It was September 25th of last year. So I got a couple of days. But yes, it was after EWC. It was before Masters of the Game, which was the big offline event happening in France. So it's been a good amount of time. It's been, what, 7 months? Just over 7 months. So now it is going to be a Twilight Council follow-up here from herO. This is a much earlier Twilight Council. Okay, so again, Twilight Council, just as the third base is being taken, a higher chance to Glaive Adepts. Higher chance is going to be Glaives. The other option here is we could go into early Blink, into a heavy gateway count, into a 3-base all-in, an 8k 3-base all-in with Mass Blink Stalker. Either that or again Glaives. Airlord is moving in. Stalker's here to try to punish. Can we deny the scouts? Oracles a hit the third. Yeah, one drone kill, just the one. And the Overlord will get eyes on gateways and the Twilight Council timing. It is going to be Glaives, but he gets scouted. Whew, okay. So Glaive Adepts here from herO, and SHIN is aware. We should be reacting. He already went into the Evo chamber. Ooh, already went for the chamber, already working towards +1 melee. We should be seeing a Baneling Nest. A Baneling Nest would be ideal here to defend. I mean, ideally it'd be roaches, but we already have the Evo chamber. So Banelings will be the next best thing. Oh no, the wall! The walls of the Wallings, they flood into the main, they flood into the natural. Probe's going to be going down. Oh, I say that actually goes for the Stalker. A little bit indecision here from SHIN. Peels off a couple of units here and we'll get 2. No, 0! Oh god. The indecision there from SHIN. Yeah. A lot of these probes got low, by the way. They got low, but we were a little bit indecisive, going back and forth, going for the Stalker, going for the probes, going for the mineral line. So a rough setup here from SHIN. Meanwhile, back across the map, we have +1 range on the way, not melee. We're going into Ling Hydra? No shot. But SHIN, he scouted. He saw the Twilight Council finishing. He should know it's Glaives. The Glaives are here. No Banelings? Yeah, no Banelings, no roaches. We do have a decent Ling count. Despite that, we commit. Yeah, we commit to the Shade. Ling's going to be going down. So Shade into the main. We're shading further in, and how many economic losses will we sustain? What do we get? Shade's in. So far, trades well against the Lings. That was how many? That was 30 Lings going down. Yeah, 30 Zerglings, 2 drones, nothing major yet. So we do have Oracles coming in towards the natural. They're coming to support, actually. Wow, they support the army. Adepts to make their way over. Station traps help support as well to zone away. Ooh, they do get baited. Yeah, they get baited. 2 more drones, 4 in total. Denied mining. Ooh. Getting 5 more. Getting up to 7. Yeah, 7 worker kills. And with that, herO takes an economic lead. herO does take a lead. He's ahead. Behind this, working towards +1. Blink. Adepts, they cancel the Shade. They do manage to escape. And this was worth it. So this wasn't critical damage, but damage nonetheless. It did slow down SHIN. It did cripple his economy. SHIN, he was attempting to build up his own Ling Hydra composition, and herO back at home working towards Storm. So building up into Storm. But touching on herO's acquisition, or T1's acquisition, it is kind of weird, especially if you're an old school fan of StarCraft, to like, you know, GG, yeah, too many adepts. Too many adepts. CJ well played. I was gonna say it's a little bit weird to see like an ex-CJ player now on SKT after all these years. Like we're going full circle, but GG well played. With that, herO, he will claim the series and advance on to the grand finals. GG well played. And again, I'm a little bit surprised that SHIN, despite scouting the Twilight Council timing, didn't throw down the Baneling Nest. If you remember, that's what we were emphasizing. We're like, okay, the Overlord got in, he saw the timing of the Twilight Council, it has to be Glaive Adepts, so we should be at least seeing a safety Baneling Nest. He decided to stick with Ling Hydra, and Ling Hydra struggles against Mass Adept. And you saw that herO, even though he was taking up into Storm, even though he was taking up into Blink Stalkers, he just made an extra wave of Glaive Adepts, and that's game. That's game then and there. Ling Hydra cannot fight head on against Glaive Adepts. They just crumble. They made out of paper, pappy. Ay. That army does crumble, and with that, herO will advance on to those finals. Let's go. Let us go. is going to be the grand finals here between herO and Clem. It is going to be a best of 5.